Okay, I think everything's set up. I've never tried anything like this before, so if I fall on my butt, I fall on my butt, but whatever. We roll with it. So, to those of you who have never played this game before, because I'm sure it's new to a lot of people, the majority of people watching this. This is a game by the name of You Are Peter Shorts. And it's a game that I ended up getting gifted it for Christmas, and I've kind of fallen in love with it. Oh, nice, I got the tech. But, how to best explain it? It's like a combination of Mega Man, almost like a combination between Mega Man and an immersive sim, something like that. It's weird to describe. You've got Mega Man-esque abilities that you can swap between, and you also have like a platforming collectathon sort of element to it, and everything works really well together. And I don't have this set up to auto-split, so these splits might be a smidge inaccurate, but I have literally never done something like this before, so, you know. Again, if I fall on my ass, I fall on my ass. But I have been practicing this game. And this game is just fun. It is simply fun. It is fun to play fast, it's fun to play slow, it's fun to get all the collectibles. It's just a good game. Quite simply, it is just fun. It can be hella frustrating at times, but I chalk that up more to my own inexperience than anything. That was really good. Wow. That was so fast. What? Normally you have to do that in counter, but I just completely skipped it. That was insane. But this is a game of extremes when it comes to the speedy stuff, from what I've been able to tell. Of sometimes you just absolutely excel and you do things faster than you think you can, and then sometimes you spend 15 plus seconds just getting comboed by the same enemy. Where the enemy knocks you down even lower than you're supposed to go and you lose a chunk of time. But, you know. Such is life. Such as speedrunning games, sometimes things just do not go to plan. And I've had kind of the speedrunning bug in me recently because I just watched a bunch of the AGDQ runs from this year. This was a good year too. There was a bunch of musical stuff which I was a fan of. There was like Crazy Taxi with live backing band and Elden Ring on saxophone. And like Zem playing Ratchet & Clank and doing opera at the end. It was great. It was very good marathon this year. Normally it's best to kill these guys when they're on an even number of health so they can't jump out of the mech, but it really doesn't lose that much time. And you might have noticed the little beater that was riding on the rocket. I've gotten used to it, but the enemies in this game can do some wild stuff. I love the AI in this game. It is genuinely really good. Some of the best enemy AI I've seen in a while. Okay, now the part that makes me tear my hair out. So I need to get this guy down into the red so I can kill him quickly after he does what I want him to do. Not too low. And then I need him to shoot a rocket, and then I need to destroy that rocket to set off that fuse. If I can do this, there's an entire set of rooms back there that I would be able to skip. So this looks like I'm losing time. I'm going to gain quite a bit of time if he cooperates in a decent amount. Come on. But the trouble is he's also aggroing. Oh, that would have worked. Nice. I just need to kill him. Please. Please and cheese. Awesome. Okay, getting here in 5 minutes is unbelievably good. That's my personal best for sure. The little cute references to Smash and other fighting games is definitely it is recognized and it is appreciated. Hang on. God, that is my Discord. I apologize. It seems every time I end up doing something, I can waste just a second. Sorry. There we go. My phone should buzz in just a second as well. There it is. Because Discord does this fun thing where if you turn off the client and you still haven't received the notification, it'll buzz your phone anyway, because Discord is Discord. Anyway, Fire offers us our first movement tech of the run. This little kick gives you quite a bit of horizontal speed, especially this early. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up over time.
Go.
Fire Peter also gets access to that. That uppercut move is one of the most reliable damage dealers in the game when it lands, which is a very funny sentence now that I'm saying it. If you can hit it reliably, it is 5 damage plus fire, which is a lot. However, okay, that's always scary, and sometimes the snails will throw you. The trouble is that it's hard to line up, and I could theoretically just do it over and over and over again and juggle enemies. I have never been able to do more than 3 in a row, which is already quite a lot. That's probably, I would guess, like 15 damage, somewhere around there, because the fire doesn't always land, and the residual damage only happens after the enemy bounces on the ground, so it's a little bit less than 5 per hit, but it comes close. Come on, buddy. But the important thing to note is now that I have another Peter form, I'm not forced into fire. I can swap between any of the different Peter types at my leisure, and there's no like resource like in Mega Man. So I just have this chameleon moveset that I can adjust to whatever situation. Like for this guy, as long as he's out of the air, okay. This guy's obnoxious because he sometimes he flies around and spams high damage aerials, and sometimes he sits on the ground and fires projectiles. Either way, it's not pleasant. Because Penguin can be a pain because you might have noticed the get-ups. There's a very odd mechanic with that to sort of prevent just getting comboed into the ground. There's a mechanic in place where after you take, I believe it's 3 grounded attacks in quick succession, you'll enter a mode of complete invincibility for just a little bit. And then on top of that, you get a little bit of invincibility for every point of damage you've taken in a short amount of time. Think of it basically a range of a combo. And that icicle, hitting that icicle seemed like just a minor foible, but that was actually intentional. I want that icicle to be there for a trick I'll do in a second. Even with like as few movement abilities as I have right now, I can still do skips. That skips quite a lot. And now comes the other half. Yeah, I still have to do this room, even if if I do the other stuff right, which is obnoxious. I'm never been a fan of this room because sometimes the penguins will just lock you in a corner and keep peppering you with 1 damage attacks over and over. Yeah, there we go. He was definitely going for it. And I think there's a way to also skip these rooms, but I need to work on the routing a bit. I would wager there's probably 5 minutes worth of improvement to be made in this run that isn't just pure execution, like getting better at execution and not getting locked in corners. There's a lot of time to be saved. Okay, and now ice. Ice takes a deceptively long time if things go poorly. Because of those stupid icicles. He will just sit there and spam the ever-loving hell out of him, and not only are they platforms, but they're pretty like meaty projectiles. Like it's hard to work around them. And they block other projectiles, which can also be really frustrating, but there's not a lot of projectiles in this game, so that doesn't come up too much. It's really just fire and eggs, which we'll get to the eggs. I will show the power of Bird Peter later in the run, because Bird Peter is ridiculously good. Hey, that was really good. Now we have ice. Ice is deceptively good. Oh wait, I should have gone up and over. Okay, I'll keep that in mind for next time. Now, the room that I hate. I have died here before. I have also finished this room in probably 5 seconds on a couple of occasions. It's just depends on how the game is feeling. If I get hit by that ice on the wrong spot, I'm going to die. But we're good. But yeah, every run of this game is, you get some things right, you get some things wrong, you learn for later, and then by the time you've done a bunch of runs, suddenly you have a really good time. Though I guess that describes a lot of speedrunning. I wouldn't know. I really have not speedrun a lot. It's really just been this and Pizza Tower at this point. I've considered Anton Blast, but I'm not good enough at Anton Blast to do a speedrun. I know that for sure. So the thing with ice is that you can do this maneuver, and I don't entirely know if this is intentional. It definitely feels intentional, but for all I know, it's not. And now the room that I hate. Be kind, please. Okay, we're good. That room can go very wrong, and there's a bunch of enemies down there if I'm not careful. But ice can be really good because of this move that allows you to elevate a platform. Okay, is this snail gonna be nice? So far, oh, maybe? Hey, we got it. Normally you have to use the apple over there, but you can just do this instead. Fine, we'll roll with it. I'm worried that Peter with the jaws. I always forget what kind of Peter that's supposed to be. I'm worried that he's just gonna sit there and spam the bite and the fire, and I'm just gonna make me lose time later. But I'll roll with it. But I adore the movement in this game. It's so nice. And it's such a rare genre to tap into as well. Like a combination fighting game and platformer that actually, that isn't designed to be a competitive fighting game. It's such a rare thing, but it works really, really, really well. These rooms are always scary, and I was literally about to say, I normally don't mess them up. Maybe I will this time. Again, this is a game of, you make different mistakes every time, so maybe I just eat dirt and eat spikes, and it'll be really embarrassing for all parties involved. Yep. These banana peels are evil. One of the principal differences between normal mode and hard mode is it just plops a bunch of those everywhere, all over the map, and it's probably the funniest way that I've ever seen hard mode done. Because hard mode introduces other things as well, like checkpoints can't be reused until you find a new one, and enemies are on the same team, and enemies, I don't know if they explicitly are designed to be more aggressive, but I think it's just like they feel a bit more aggressive, and I think the final boss is also ever so slightly different, but nothing crazy. But we'll get to the final boss in due time. Okay. This is a weird room for sure. Just rise up so I don't have to wait for this. I'm killing this thing right away. I do not trust it. I could technically wedge it into that button up there, but it's so unreliable. It's better to just kill it. And I deal with the consequences of losing like 20 seconds as opposed to losing like a minute because he sits his fat ass up there and oop, there we go. Because he just sits his fat ass over there and fires fireballs and makes it so that I bonk the tomato into him. This room has caused me a lot of grief. I'll spare you the details. But this is a room that can go very wrong. Okay. Now the scary part, please be kind. Okay, they're kind. The tiger might be an issue later because it flew all the way over there, but now I need a volunteer from the audience. This is another one like the skip at the start where it can just go really wrong, but hopefully the rhinoceros beetle plays nice. What I need you to do, buddy, is I need you to, not that, I need you to just press the button for me. Can you do that? Almost. A little bit longer. I just need, come on. Come on. You can, I know you can do it. This is still faster than doing this bit normally. But I can feel the time loss creeping in. Come on. I'm just gonna do it normally. This is what I mean when I say that this can go wrong. This game has a habit of, when one thing goes wrong, it goes really wrong. But yeah, let's just do this bit normally. Clear out this. And then, oh, come on. You're joking. Really? Hey, remember what I was saying about how sometimes the run goes off the rails? Please, fuck you. Just go away. And let me actually... The rage in my heart right now cannot be fully explained. By means of science. Would you fucking die, please? Thank you. Let me actually do the... There's a kind of poetic justice to the fact that the very last thing that he did was sit on the Switch. Come on. That's upsetting. Whatever. Like I said, this game can be deeply, deeply frustrating if it decides that, you know, you woke up on a Tuesday and the game does not like Tuesdays, and now you lose 5 minutes. But still, we keep going. This is like a point where you can deceptively lose a ton of time because of how much he bounces around. Sometimes he just does not. He just hates you, and he will just bounce around like crazy. He'll just play keep away for the whole battle, and you have to chip him down from above, which is annoying. But thankfully, he played pretty nice. So now we're gonna do a little bit of a detour. Ordinarily, the next place I would go would be a little over to, like, down and to the right to get electric, because that's the last thing that you need to access the final area of the game. But oh my god, that went really well. That room can go terribly wrong, because again, there are enemies down there. And now I have to do a very specific motion, like so. Awesome. I'm glad I actually I got that uppercut too. That was cool. This enemy in particular really likes teching, so I think this will go by fast. But this is, I mean, the only reason this fight is here is because of my skill issue. There are better ways to get through the electric area, but I generally like Bird more. Ideally, you would completely skip this. Come on. There we go. Because not only do I have to get Bird, I also have to go up here. And over, and get one of these. There's one of these for every single move in the game, but the one for Bird is actually quite useful for very specific parts of the game. Because you can do that. And it lets you sail through spikes and through wind, and it's generally pretty useful. But yeah, just to show off the little cavalcade that I would have to get through. Right, and I can't go over there because there's a combat room over there, so we'll go straight down. Right, I forgot about this room. I also can't go this way. Whatever, we roll with it. You okay down there, bug? Oops, scary. I kind of just have to keep bopping him with a down air over and over. And this puts me up here. Okay, so that was the wrong way. It's down here. This is what I was thinking of. There's a massive combat room here that takes ages, and I always forget about it, but you can just skip it. You can skip most of the combat encounters in this game. Some of them easily, some of them not so easily. Please stop following me. Thank you. And then I've been workshopping this one. I think I would have to. Nah, God, this would be so tricky. Never mind. I was overthinking it. That works too. There's a way that you can skip this entire section, by the way. There's up there is the very end of the stage, but it's a pain. It's a massive pain, and I think I would save time by just doing it normally, with how long it would take for me to try. But now we get to Bird, and Bird is really, really, really good. Come on. Big Peter is deceptively fast and deceptively annoying to deal with, because you might notice a theme. He's another one of the kinds of enemies that can just lock you in a corner, except this time on the ground as before, and it also does 3 damage every time, so I would like to avoid that if possible. That can actually chunk you down pretty quickly. But this is why I pick Bird. Remember that Bird is optional. Normally you would have to do this without the ability to just fly around like a fool. And it's really frustrating. This is easily the most frustrating main area. And then match like crazy, nice. I don't know what this run's gonna come out to be, now that I ended up flubbing the wind area so much. But now comes the fun part, where I can kind of just use power of Bird. Oop. Hello, did not mean to do that. And it's funny, I'm pretty sure this area is supposed to be the second area you visit. Which is kind of wild, because in every single run I've always done this place last because it's such a pain. But I think technically it's supposed to be just the second. I think the last area is supposed to be wind. But wind breaks so much of the game that it's worth it to go get it early. Can't talk today. And it doesn't really matter where you go from here. I prefer going this way, but if I were to go down, it would just lead me to that little space was the thing that I was talking about earlier. Hello. Didn't mean to do that. Whatever, we roll with it. I've ended up having to do this room in all of my normal runs anyway, so it might actually be faster to just do it so that you can just come straight down here. And here's the funny snail. And you might wonder why I ended up going up there and just went up and then seemingly just went right back down. I don't know why, but consistently, whenever I do that area and I don't at least go up or explore more of the electric area, the statue will not get lit up. Couldn't tell you why, but that's just like a precaution. Because sometimes the game likes to say, no, you didn't actually get the Peter spirit. Go back and play the area more. And as you probably expect, there's a time loss. Yeah, but that big, like, roll attack is the obnoxious attack that I was thinking of. That move alone can derail a lot of combats. But now we're in the lab. The lab is sort of like, it's a combination of a lot of puzzles, particularly bomb puzzles, and just a ton of tricky encounters. The back half of this run is where you really have to get good at the combat. Because these rooms can demolish you, especially on higher difficulties. And again, Bird shows its strength. I think you might technically be able to do that room faster with wind, but I've never really managed to. And Bird's more convenient, because I always end up getting Bird anyway. Okay, this bunny enemy is the absolute worst. Those eggs do... oh, they only do 2 damage. They do 2 damage, but he also has a 3 damage punch. He has several 3 damage punches, and he likes to just stay slightly out of your range and pelt you with high damage attacks. He is the choice of champions for the bonus mode, Peter's Dream, though. Speaking of obnoxious enemies, there's also these guys. They have Jigglypuff's back air, and anyone who's played Melee knows exactly why that's obnoxious. They love to just sit slightly out of your range with their ridiculous airspeed and poke you. And just keep poking you. They're not too scary, but they will definitely waste your time a lot. It's not the enemy that I was expecting to give me grief. Come on, dude. Just get in the bag. Come on. There we go. This is one of those rooms where I kind of just have to wait for enemies to start attacking. This is why I prefer normal mode to hard mode, because I don't know if I mentioned it, but because enemies are on the same team in hard mode, they do not deal friendly fire damage. Or maybe they do. I was never able to figure out whether it was what the exact ruling was there. They're definitely on the same... I think they might be able to damage each other still, but they are on the same team, so they won't aggro towards each other. So it's way harder to get situations like that, where the enemies will just tear each other apart. Come on. Okay, now this is actually a really big skip that is way, way easier with bird than it is with wind, because you would have to do a wind jump straight up, which is really hard. And then, come on. That room can either go really, really well, or you just die instantly to the spikes. There's not really a lot of in between there. Now, these frogs are also evil. I don't know where that fire damage came from, but I'm not complaining. Oop. Excellent. Okay, now if I do this right... Ah, barely. So you can skip this fight, but it is really, really precise, and you also have to be on a specific cycle on the platforms. Okay, please let me move. Thank you. Okay, this room, this is unskippable, as you might be able to guess, and it's also really obnoxious sometimes. Come on. There we go. Fight fire with fire, fight spam with spam. That's just what it comes down to sometimes. These tigers can also juggle you quite a bit. But, I mean, they have to be in a certain mood for it. I would love to figure out how the enemy AI works in this game. It would be nice for speed's sake, but it would also just be really fascinating. This is another room that is a nightmare in hard mode. Because remember what I was saying about the penguins comboing you? They love to do that. Their favorite pastime is sliding on their bellies like goobers. This is another room that might be skippable, maybe, possibly. You do have a lot of movement options, but it's a lot of ground to cover, and it's directly flush against the ceiling, so it probably, even if it was skippable, it would probably be Taz only. I don't even know if there are Taz's for this game, but it would be Taz only. Gorgeous. And this is this area is cute. This is sort of just like a show what you've learned, show how the different abilities interact with each other. It can go wrong, but perfect. Hang on, now I just need to leave the wind cage and we're good. That room can take a while. This room is genuinely terrifying because all three of these enemies have really, really, really good aerials, and after a certain point, the only way that you can damage them is by challenging them in the air. So if the enemies feel like it, they can just chunk half your health. Which, again, in hard mode, that's really scary because of how sparse checkpoints end up being. Come on. Hey, there we go. Okay, now we get to the fun part. The Peter Gumball machine. I should put this in the... well... I feel like I might put this in the split. Because the thing is, the end of the lap is right here, so... might be unnecessary. Also, I just gotta shout out the music. The music is so good. Yeesh. This fight can go quite wrong because the Peters do a lot of damage when there's this, especially when there's this many of them. But you keep your wits about you. You just keep spamming poking moves, and you get through pretty easily. This is one of those things where the dream would be to beat it before the music loops, which seems like it would technically be possible, but it would be very, very tight. Now there's just one more room, and then we exit the lab. Alright, now the fun part. This fight. So, as you might be able to guess, he just stole my abilities. All of them. This is basically Miracle Matter from Kirby 64, where he cycles between the different elements. And this can be a very frustrating fight, but it's cut in stone for what he can do. With the exception of this one. This one does a ton of damage if you flub it, and it also doesn't even exist if you skip Bird. Because the way that this fight works is that if you have any of the optional Peter abilities, he gains those Peter abilities for the fight. Ideally, I want to get all of these on the second cycle, but if I miss one or two, it's not that bad. just gonna wait. Come on, dude. Fuck. Okay. Come on, almost there. Yes, there we go. And now, the character who... No joke, this character is named Sigma Peter. Come on. Ideally, I would have wanted to beat him on the other side, but it's fine. You might wonder why I haven't cut the split yet. Well, we still have another fight. The fight is not over. And quite frankly, this is where Bird really shines. Like, even more than before. It also plays the banger music from the trailer, which is awesome. I kind of wish this fight got changed more by hard mode, but to my memory, the only things that really get changed are that, more snakes spawn and the beam takes less time to charge up, but no like, new attacks or anything. Which is a bit of a shame. This is a cool fight either way, but it would have been cool to see it just go absolutely crazy. Oh. Yep, and that's why. That move can just chunk your health. Come on, two cycle, excellent. And then there we go. I was waiting until the arena was over. And now here we go. We're in the home stretch. I think this is gonna be a PB for me. We'll see. Unless I do something stupid like die. But if all goes well, I usually escape with like 2-ish minutes. Now, something interesting to note here is that when the scientist gave me back the powers, it actually gave me back the upgraded versions of the powers, so I can do some things that I wasn't able to do before. Okay, good. I was worried that was gonna clip. Come on. But this was such a cute reveal that all of these vents that you've been seeing throughout the game are for this one long escape sequence. Yeah, there we go. There's absolutely a way to do that bit faster, but I do not know it. Okay, now drones be kind. These drones can, they can choose to just annihilate you if they feel like it. Which makes this part a little scary, especially since it's at the end of the escape sequence. Hello. They kind of like seek your movements too, so I need to be extra careful. But we're good. And then swap to fire for the last minute set of boosts, and time is coming up when it cuts to black. I think that was it. Yeah, maybe it was that. Either way, that's definitely a new record for me. That was really good. Onwards I go. Eventually I will get to 40 minutes, but that was good. That was really, really good. Hell yeah.